Welcome back, friends, to another budget meal video. I hope you guys are doing amazing. So today I will be sharing 6 super easy 2-ingredient dessert recipes. These are perfect for these holidays, whatever you're celebrating. These are even perfect for if you just need something really quick, really simple to take to a family gathering, of course, after we come out of this. But I'm super excited to share with you guys these recipes. They're super budget friendly. They don't cost a lot of money. I'm including oatmeal bar recipes, bark recipes, coconut macaroons, peanut brittle, even peach cobbler. And as a bonus, I will be sharing a recipe for the biscuits and the pumpkin spice cream cheese that I purchased. I turned it into a pull-apart bread, also known as a monkey bread. So I will be sharing that recipe along with the frosting. And I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get into it. But first, I want to share with you guys this pantry haul. So I was going through my pantry and I was looking through to see what I had that I needed to use up. And basically, I had a lot of stuff. I like to buy a lot of the dessert items. Here I'm showing you these coconut flakes that I purchased from Dollar Tree. If I find something on sale, I love to get it. These peaches are a huge can of peaches. And then they also had peanuts. They also had this cinnamon sugar that I was super excited to try out. Of course, they sold condensed milk, but that's not a good deal. Did you guys know that they sold grits? I did not know that they sold grits. I was super excited to see that. So let's get into exactly what I need to use up. So I have peanut butter. We always have peanut butter, tons of peanut butter. I need to use them up because they're both like almost at the bottom. I was showing the difference between the peanuts that I bought from the Dollar Tree versus these mixed nuts that I've had in the shelf for a while that I need to use up. For some reason, I have tons of peaches and applesauce. I don't know why. I think I grab them every time I see them on sale. So I have a lot of these fruits that are great for like pie recipes. Like if you're doing a hand pie. As a matter of fact, those biscuits I just showed you guys, those are great to put with those fillings and just fry up a quick pie. That's another 2-ingredient recipe. Here I always have extra packets of oatmeal. And these are just packets of cocoa mix. I like to add those to cookies, chocolate chip cookies. I also keep my extra packets of cereal when it gets down to the bottom. I actually like to mix that with these barks that I'm showing you. If you have marshmallows, you can mix it in with that cereal, dip it in one of these barks, and you can make like those cereal milk bars that they like to sell for a whole bunch of money. So that's a good idea. There I was showing you guys this bark that I bought a couple years back. It actually expired a while back, but that's okay because I'm going to show you how to bring it back. I also have a little bit of chocolate chips I found in the bottom of a shelf. And then these are some melts that I bought after Christmas. And then, of course, I have sprinkles that I buy after Christmas and a little confectioner sugar. I always buy things after Christmas and end up with a whole bunch of random things. But you know what? They don't ever go bad, and I use them up, and my kids love sweet treats. So I'm also showing you some cake mix that I have that I'm going to incorporate here. Okay, so we're going to start off with this oatmeal bar cookie situation. So all you're going to need is a banana and some packets of oatmeal. So I found that 1 banana to 3 packets of oatmeal works perfect here. So all you can do is crush your bananas to the consistency that you like. You can smash it even more, but these are super quick. And then I'm going to put in this banana and creams oatmeal packet. And I also included that extra brown sugar maple packet, but these were old, so you see I had to kind of crush it a little bit to get that sugar broken up. And as I was mixing it, I realized that I probably needed another packet of oatmeal, so I went and grabbed this strawberry and creams packet, and I added that. And this was actually really, really good. I would recommend if you have one of those fruit and cream packets to go ahead and add it here. So what I did is I went ahead and put them in the shape of cookies. You can put them together as a bar and flatten it out, but I felt like this was easier for me to manage. So I went ahead and put those in the freezer, and then once they firmed up a little bit, after about 20 minutes, I put them in the oven for about 20 minutes at about 350, and this is what they came out like. And they were super moist, super soft, super delicious. As you can see, I made quite a bit, but my kids ate them really quickly. As a matter of fact, I think my freezer might have ate one too, but super easy, super delicious. Yeah, give it a try. Tell me if you like it. So we're going to move into this peach cobbler. And all I'm doing is I'm adding my can of peaches here, and as you can see, it has 6 peaches, and I'm doing everything one pot style because we do not like to wash dishes. And I'm using this janky plastic fork because I didn't want to scratch up my pan. And I found that I only had a little bit of cake mix left in this packet, so this would have been perfect with like half a pack of cake mix, or if you're using that big can from Dollar Tree, a whole cake mix to the whole can is perfect. But what I ended up doing here is I found that I had an extra packet of one of those mug cake things, and I added it here, and it worked out fine. So I'm just gonna stick that in the oven, and I don't know where the clip is of me actually taking it out, but this was enough for about 2 or 3 servings. Like I said, if you're going to use the Dollar Tree peaches with a cake mix, that's actually enough for a full family. And I made some homemade whipped cream and added it on top. And it was super delicious, moist. Oh my God, so good. So now we're going to move into this peppermint bark. So I have these melts, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them in the microwave, and I'm going to melt them down. Follow instructions on the back of the packet. And then I went to the Christmas tree and grabbed up some of the kids' candy canes and just broke them apart and put them in a bag and crushed them. And I crushed them at different intervals because I wanted some chunky and some really fine. And then once that chocolate has melted, I went ahead and spread it out on this baking sheet. I didn't have any parchment paper. I like these silicone liners because you can keep using them. They last forever. They're very economical, and I always buy them after the holidays. Here I'm just spreading it out, and all you're going to do is you're just going to put the crushed peppermint on top. If you like a softer peppermint, you can use the softer peppermints, but candy canes are readily available right now. So you're just going to go ahead and smash that into the chocolate and try to make it as even as possible. And I went ahead and put that in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, and then it hardens up just like this. And what you saw me doing is I took those red candy melts and I melted those, and all I'm going to do is just drizzle it on top just to be a little fancy and to also use up the candy melts. And you could do this any way you want to. This is super easy. Your kids can help you do this. And here I'm just showing you what it looks like. Now you can use this, you can keep this whole, but you know, for the holidays, my kids like to go grab these. So I'm just breaking them up into pieces that they can go and grab. And it's just that simple. This did not take more than about 15 minutes if you put it all together. Super easy, super delicious. My kids are already finished eating these. This was super fun, and it's perfect for Christmas or any holiday that you're celebrating during these winter months. Nice to share, but super easy. So now we're going to move into these coconut macaroons. And this is a 2-ingredient recipe as well, but I had the extra chocolate and I needed to use it here. So all I'm doing is I'm putting the whole packet of this sweetened coconut into this bowl, and I added the condensed milk, but I added as needed. So I added half of the can at first, and I just mix it around, and you're going to mix it to your liking. And I found that it was a little dry, so I put a little bit more in there. And then you're just going to mix it around, and then I let it sit for about 30 minutes so everything can mesh together. And then I came back to it, and I'm just going to go ahead and put these on a baking sheet, and you can shape them however you like. I just shaped them into about 12 of these macaroons. And one tip I will tell you is that, remember, you're dealing with pure sugar here. This is pure sugar, so you want to keep an eye on this. I put mine in the oven at about 350 for about 20 minutes. And they were really brown. So if you do not want them as brown and as well done as I like mine, you want to put them maybe at 325 for maybe 20 minutes. But this is what they look like when they came out. So here I'm just putting them on a cooling rack so that they can cool, because this is done. You're finished. You can go ahead and serve this as is. But like I said, I had some chocolate that I needed to use up, that chocolate bark. So all I'm going to do is microwave these. Now remember, these are the old barks that expired last year, so I'm just going to add a little bit of neutral oil, and then I'm going to melt them, per the package instructions, and I'm just gonna dip them. And I found that these were super cute. They look like little shells. Once you dip them, you just want to go ahead and let them cool. I put them in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes. They can cool on their own on your counter depending on if it's cold or warm where you live. And that's super easy, and that's just to make them fancy. But like I said, the 2-ingredient one, all you need is condensed milk and the coconut, the shredded sweetened coconut, of course. If you don't like too sweet, then you could do the non-sweetened coconut. But I found that this is a sweet treat, so you know, no harm, no foul. And there you have it. Super easy, super delicious, and they are super pretty. Instagram picture worthy, right? And they're actually really moist inside. And if you want them to be super soft on the inside, you can also put them in the freezer for a little while. Okay, so this was impromptu because I still had that chocolate. So I just put in a little baggie some of those nuts. And all I'm doing is beating this. Listen, if you are super frustrated with what's going on in the world, or you just are frustrated because the holidays have hit you super fast, and this is a great way to take out your aggression. As you can see, I did not have any time to put anything together. I was like, listen, let me just get this together. This did not take more than about 10 minutes, and I was trying to work fast because the chocolate was already melted and sitting off to the side. So all I did was just crush up. There's no specific measurements here. You just do an equal part of chocolate to nut ratio. And that's all I did, is I just mixed it all in. I just tried to get it into a little bit of a shape because it is going to cool together. I'm trying to flatten it out as flat as I can possibly do it. You can keep it a little thicker. I put this in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes, and it set up really, really quickly. And I'm just showing you what it looks like once it's set. And I just broke it apart. If you want to be fancy and cut it into squares, you can do that. This tastes like a delicious Mr. Good bar, or your regular standard chocolate bar with nuts in it. Super easy, super delicious. Great for the kids if you want them to run around your house and drive you crazy during the holidays, which I would not recommend. But anyway, so we're going to move on to this peanut brittle. And this is the dollar store peanuts that I purchased. I'm not a peanut fan, but this I can eat. So all I'm doing here is just beating my peanuts, and you beat them to the consistency that you like. And I'm just adding sugar here. All the measurements are always going to be down below. So all I'm doing is just heating up this sugar, and you want the sugar to sit. As you let it sit on a very high heat, you will notice that it will start to clump together. That means that it's melting. So I'm kind of time-lapsing everything so you can see how it happens. So you're going to mix and you're going to leave it. You're going to mix and you're going to leave it. But you're not going to leave. You're going to move away from the stove, but still be very close. And as you can see, some liquid starts to form at the bottom, and that's when you want to stay close. Once that liquid starts to form, you want to continue to manipulate the sugar like every minute or so. And this really doesn't take long. This took about 5 to 7 minutes to go from your standard granulated sugar down to this melted consistency. So I'm just stirring it around, and as you can see, once it starts to melt, it starts to go really fast. So I'm just stirring it around, and I just want it to come to a light brown color. You do not want to burn this sugar, so you do not want to step away. Once it starts to melt, make sure that you have your peanuts next to you, because this is going to go really, really fast. Once you pull it off that heat, and once something cold hits it, it wants to go back to a hardened form. So here I'm just mixing it around. It's going to go from melted to brown really, really quickly. So I didn't even let it fully melt all the way down. You see some particles still in there. And there I'm just adding my peanuts, and I'm just stirring it around really quickly. Then I turn off my stove, and I'm pulling it right off the heat. And I moved really, really quickly. I had my baking sheet ready, and all I'm doing is flattening it out. You will notice that it will stick. to your utensil, whatever you're using. So what I did is I just sprayed it down with a cooking spray, and that does help it to stop sticking. And it is still really hot right now, so that's why I'm trying to maneuver everything. And I try to shape it into a nice little whatever, just so that it's easier to break and that it cools evenly. So you can make these as thick or as thin as you like. And there you have it. And all I'm going to do is just break it up into little shards. You can break it up smaller, you can break it up bigger. So as I was breaking these peanut brittles, one of these was shaped like a heart, just to say that I love you guys and thank you guys for always coming back and leaving beautiful comments. But there you have it, guys. Super easy, super quick, delicious peanut brittle. Your friends will think you spent hours over the stove making these. So now I'm going to move into this pull-apart bread, aka monkey bread. I made this using those biscuits that I bought on clearance along with the pumpkin spice cream cheese. So all you need is some butter, some milk, of course the cream cheese, and that's mainly for the frosting. And then I have vanilla, some cinnamon, and then the 2 things of biscuits, and then some powdered sugar, and of course some regular sugar and brown sugar as well. All I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and melt my butter so that I can have readily available. A super quick, easy way to go ahead and cut these biscuits is just to use a pizza cutter and just cut them into quarters. And as you can see, I just got quicker and quicker because I'm like, hey, I got things to do here. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and transfer those to a bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and pour over that melted butter. This is super quick, super fast, super easy. I was using a fork at first, and I realized, you know, it would be way easier to just use a plastic spoon. So all I'm doing here is I'm adding my brown sugar, my granulated sugar, and my cinnamon. And I'm just going to mix this. Now that cinnamon sugar mixture that I bought from Dollar Tree would be perfect here. That way you wouldn't have to buy the sugar or the cinnamon. It's all in there, and it doesn't really take a lot to use to sweeten this dessert. Here I'm just putting my pieces. I'm going to try to pull them apart as I'm putting them into this baking pan. And you want to make sure that you spray down your baking pan so nothing sticks, because this is sugar and it will stick to your pan if you're not careful. So I'm just putting them in, no rhyme or no reason on how I'm putting them in. You just want to make sure that everything's coated. So you'll see I pull out some of the pieces and I actually go back in and I dip them into that sugar mixture just to make sure that everything's well coated. And here I'm just showing you what it looks like. And I went ahead and baked that for about 20 minutes. And then I poured some more butter on top of it just to make it ooey gooey. I'm going to go ahead and make my frosting. So I melted some butter and I put in about 2 cups of the powdered sugar, and then I used the whole container of that cream cheese. I put in some vanilla and I put in butter, and as I was mixing I realized that I made a little bit more butter. I put in a little milk as well. But what I found with these whipped cream cheeses is that they're really soft. So actually what I had to do is I ended up having to go back and put in a little bit more confectioner sugar to make the, and confectioner sugar is just powdered sugar, in order to make the mixture a little more thick. Had I realized that it was a lot more of a creamy texture, and this is the cream cheese I'm talking about, I probably would not have added the milk. So note to self, in order to reduce the amount of powdered sugar that you're going to have to use, do not even include the milk. Just go ahead and use the confectioner sugar with the cream cheese. And this is if it's a whipped cream cheese. So the confectioner sugar with the whipped cream cheese and your vanilla. So what I ended up having to do in order to balance out the sugars, I'm going to add a little bit of salt because it was very, very sweet. So you need a little savory to balance it out when it's that sweet. And this was the consistency that I was looking for. So I just went ahead and poured that off to the side. So here is my bread all nice and baked up. So I added more butter after it was baked. And you also saw me add butter right before I put it in the oven, just so that it's nice and soft and we don't want to waste our butter. So here I'm just kind of showing you what it looks like close up. And Trust me, I struggled to try to show you guys me frosting this because I really thought it was going to drip, but frosting did thicken up a little bit. So if you wanted a thinner frosting, of course you would add more milk, but I wanted a thicker frosting, so that's what we had. And I'm just showing you what it looks like on its own. Let me tell you, this pumpkin spice cream cheese is absolutely amazing. It is so good. I did not frost the entire loaf because not all my kids are into pumpkin. So I just left it on the side. And here I'm just showing you how soft and ooey gooey it was. So guys, that is it. Those are all the super easy recipes. I hope that you're able to try any one or maybe a couple of these recipes. Go through yourself, see what you have to put together. It's really not that complicated. I'm sure you have something in your refrigerator that you can put together and put these quick desserts together. So I want to wish you guys a happy holidays, and I hope it's restful and joyful for you guys. And so as always, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming back to my channel, leaving amazing comments, sharing my videos, subscribing, of course. And until the next video, guys, bye, and happy holidays to you and yours.